Hello, King 90 Reviews here, and today we're going to be making a Kumakura from Sangatsu video. Now, in this video I'll mainly cover why I think Kumakura is really cool, why I think he's actually the second best shogi player in the series, and what I'm excited for from his character moving forward. So let's get right into it. Alright, so I'll try to keep the video a bit short. You know, we don't really get a lot of Kuma content anyway, so let's start with why I think he's cool. Now with Kuma, like the way he was presented first was really cool because first off, Shimada, one of the most hardworking characters we've seen so far, and based on what we know outside of Soya, he might be the second best character just because he won that Shishio, tournament to go challenge Soya for it. So we see him, challenge Soya, get 4-0. We're like, wow, Soya's just that dude. Then we see Kuma like in the Maijin championship, which is way more prestigious. Like that's the main title, and Kuma was the challenger for it. So he's already looking like number 2. And yeah, he goes to game 7. So they talk about how when Soya was playing Shimada, he was like, what he ate, like he was like max power, and then 4-0. But with Kuma as well, he was still max power, but he game 7, Kuma really had him working for it, and that was just crazy because someone like that much better than Shimada, I didn't think was like, I didn't think that was possible. So I was just like, okay, like this guy's he's pretty good at shogi. And then we see later on in the team occupation shogi team tournament, we see Kuma. He was presenting like the tournament to the masses, and he also had a session that the people that lost could get some guidance from him. And the way he was talking, you could really tell his passion for shogi, because he was saying that he was honored that they felt excited to learn from him, and he was hoping that they would leave like his lesson like really satisfied with what he brought to the table. So I like kind of seeing that. And then on top of that, he also had his own like sim club. Like those people, they were really like, they needed it, bro. Like they were trying to get some of Kuma like ASAP. They were taking a lot of pics, like gassing up how he looks, his body, all that. And it kind of makes sense because with how shogi is, you get a lot of wrinkly old dudes and like dorky kids. So you don't really get like people that like are built, big. So big body Kuma, he looks like he hits the gym every day. He looks like he could beat your ass. Like I don't know why he's playing shogi, but yeah, like big feet, he's pretty tall, would have been said. And even when he lost to Soya, like he kicked the door down. I mean, he kicked the wall down, big hole in the wall, out of his rage. But even though he was that mad he lost, like when the cameras are on him, the media, all that, all he said was just my training was not sufficient. I was like, even on camera, he's so composed on camera, but he still got that challenger spirit. So I find that pretty cool. And of course, we just recently in the Gyosho Championship, he was down 3-0, and then now he brought it to 3-3. So he's on a 3-game winning streak against Soya, and we still don't know how that last game is gonna go. So based on how the 69th Gaijin tournament went and how this one's going, plus with like how the people are gassing up, how he looks, how he kind of carries himself, I find him pretty cool in comparison to like these other shogi guys. So yeah, now let's move on to why I think he's the number 2 shogi player in the series. So there's a lot of factors to consider for number 2 contender. So the big number 2 contenders I would say is Kumakura and Dobashi. These guys are absolute monsters. They're the only ones we see on screen to take Soya to game 7. So Kuma in the 69th Maijin Championship brought Kuma to game 7, and Maijin Championship is the most prestigious title. Like everyone wants to be called Maijin, so they kind of want that title, but Soya holds it down. And then for the 70th title, the one that happened the next year, Dobashi was the one that challenged Soya, and he also brought it to game 7. So Kuma and Soya are like, they seem pretty even. And then also, I wouldn't blame people for putting Dobashi over Kuma, because not only were they portrayed very similarly to be like way ahead of Shimada, and Shimada's really damn good, so that's a big deal. But Dobashi also has the Kiryu title he got from Raido. So him having a title plus pushing Soya to game 7, like, gives him a really good argument for number 2. But the only thing that's bugging me is that he lost to Ray. Well, it was implied he lost to Ray. And losing to Ray, like, Ray is really good and he's really talented, but Shimada hasn't lost him yet. Kuma hasn't even played him, but Kuma hasn't lost him yet. Soya hasn't lost him yet. So I'm like, Yanagihara too hasn't lost to him. So I'm just like, I wouldn't argue if people got Dabashi over Kuma, but because Kuma hasn't lost to Ray yet, I got Kuma a bit higher. Plus Kuma brought Soya to game 7 twice. Dabashi only did it once, like on screen. So currently, I think Kuma's number 2. Yeah, and also with Shimada, like, no, my rankings right now will be number 1, Soya, 2, Kuma, 3, Dabashi, 4, Yanagihara, and 5, Shimada. Like, I think that's how it goes, at least for characters on screen. Of course, you got wild cards like Kiryu, the old Kiryu, Raido. We don't really know where he fits into that because he kept the Kiryu title this whole time. So that's pretty big. But yeah, like, Kuma's talented. Like, he's talented. Watch out for him. And the one thing that's bugging me is that we have yet to get a Kumakura character arc. Like, everyone else got one. Of the list I just named, everyone got one. Soya got, like, he got a bit. He didn't get like a serious arc, but he has a lot of things to his character already. Dabashi has had plenty. He has had like multiple matches. Or we saw his family, all this and that. Yanagihara got burnt fields. That was just sensational. And Shimada, he had like Ishimada. He has had so much content throughout the series. Then we have Kuma. Like, he's just there. Like, he's so good, and he deserves way better, bro. He deserves more love. But yeah, we haven't really had a Kuma arc. We don't know why he's playing Shogi. His family situation. If he, we really don't know much about it. So I want to see where Umino. Now his future is pretty much blended very well with what I was just saying earlier about why he's number 2, because the main thing is the Gyosho Championship. Now, the fact that was like chapter 168, so the fact that he's game 7 with Soya right now and is not concluded yet, so we still have to see the game 7. Umino can of course off screen it, or she can show it, and we don't know. Of course she can show it and just be like, okay, Kuma lost, let's move on, just like she did in the 69th Maijin Championship. But she could also, just go hard and go crazy on a Kuma versus Soya. And since I mentioned earlier that we didn't really get much about Kuma or, much about his character, this is the time. Like, we're ready. This is the time. Like, I'm praying that this Gyosho final game, like, she goes hard. Even if it's a Dabashi versus Soya, like, if you do it like that, that's fine with me. It don't gotta be like Burn the Fields level, but I need something, man. I need something. I've been starving. So with last chapter 175, it ended with Ray leaving the house, right? Leaving the Kawamoto house. So the next chap shouldn't have anything to do with the Kawamotos and Ray. Together. Like, they shouldn't be together since he literally just left the house. So it's a good time to jump to something else, or maybe I guess just show Ray in his house or something. But if we were to jump to something else, it would be perfect to jump into Kuma versus Soya, since chapter 168 it's still up in the air. We don't know who won. So yeah, the lack of Kuma content leads me to believe that there's a good chance we're gonna get like a really solid Kuma arc like soon, and there's no better time than now. So hopefully Umino pulls through, because I'm excited. He's a monster, man. Like, I need him winning. Like, Soya has too many belts anyway. Like, he good. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you guys for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe for more. And yeah, I'll catch y'all later. See ya.